Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay. Welcome. One of the things I want to say is brought to you by Theybies, LLC. This is a garbage company that's doing great things, and all I want to do is make sure I can give you the opportunity to see all what we can do. So what I'm asking is go to our website, DisposeLLC.com. And you will be able to see all the great things that we can bring to your home to get that trash away from you and into that landfill. Let me see where I can pick, pack, petty, whack, bring us up or what? Out that door with that trash. That's where we're going to go. That's right. I just made that up. All right. But it's nice. Let's see what we can do for you.
There we go.
Hit us up at Dispose.
Right.
Now I got to get back to this person been rocking with me going on 5 years now. This man always comes in with a smile, so I want to know how your day going, big baby Craftmatic.
Day is going swell.
That man always smiles. I love this
It's going
man.
swell, man. You know,
This man make it happen.
Yeah.
When nobody else come in with a smile, he do.
Just my spirit, man.
Whew, I
Just
like
my
that.
spirit. Life is going in a great direction, man. So I got a lot to smile about.
I got a lot to smile about, but then again, I got a lot to frown about. It always happen how I be wanting. You know something, man?
Nothing to frown about.
Well,
man.
you're right. I be frowning because, you know, my face gets squished up because I get in my feelings. I know a lot of y'all do too, so I act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. I get in my feelings because I know the plan, and I know I'm here for a purpose. So as I'm achieving it, I get frowned up because some things don't line up how I thought it should be.
Yeah.
But remember, it's not about me.
Yeah.
He is showing me, but yet I want to get mad about it.
Yeah.
I'm fighting the person that's giving me the gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm fighting him because I didn't know nothing else. I had to have that self-love, that self-taught. And he showed, you selfish.
Getting in the spirit is like getting in the flesh.
That's right.
Right?
But when you get into it, ooh.
Yeah. Getting your emotions is like getting in the flesh. You really want to get in the spirit. Let me just correct what I said. You got to get in the spirit. Because things and stuff will happen. The wind will blow and turbulence will happen. Mm-hmm. But you got to stand strong and just hover like the eagle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Woo! Great way to start our show.
Okay.
This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And of course, we are here to have a fantastic dialogue and open your minds and hearts to become your greatest possibility. We hope that this show is somewhat liberating to your spirit, because we hope that you can listen in and chime in from where you are and really participate in the discussion. Determine how you feel about these subjects. What would you do? How are you going to handle it? Make some clean, clear decisions about how you use this information. That way it be fulfilling to your spirit, and you'll be able to use it from now on forth. Because it's going to be a very interesting subject, one that I have not attacked, and it's going to be brand new for me. So just see how we do our thing. This is not a quick fix show. This is a 2-hour program. And of course, each part of the show just gets a little deeper. We just continue to talk until something magical comes out of the discussion. So stay tuned with us. And of course, we really appreciate you. We always start the show off with a prayer. I didn't know Jay.
Oh no, we need your prayer with him.
Yeah?
Yeah, we need an anointing.
Yeah.
Anointing.
Okay. Well, tonight we're going to pray for abundance.
Okay.
All right. And let's just let the Spirit flow, okay? Heavenly Father, we come to you right now just thanking you for another great night to be here among my team and do this show. We thank you for our audience and all the participants tonight. We thank you, Father, for abundance. We thank you for abundance. We thank you for massive amounts of abundance in every area of our life, even before it arrives. We ask, Father, right now that you would strike down and rebuke those ideas of lack and limitation. Yes. We ask, Father, that you would destroy need and poverty and scarcity in the world and in our world. That you would remove deficiencies and inadequacies from our life, Heavenly Father. That you would now fill our lives and our whole spirit with affluence and abundance and plenty and profusion and prosperity and riches and wealth. Fill our cups to overflowing with rivers of blessings, Heavenly Father, in every area of our life. Be with us as we do this show. Give us inspiration from on high. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Woo, you did that one. You went deep.
That's what you got to do, man.
Yeah, well, that's it.
You think all those cats who got serious prosperity didn't go deep? Everybody, every single one of them. That's the only way to get
hard in the paint, baby.
Hard in the paint, you know. And I think most of them, I'll say many of them, many people who achieved prosperity and wealth really did it by way of their efforts in what they like their passion, their purpose.
Right.
And then prosperity came, right? Prosperity only comes when you have that kind of energy behind it. You know, you got to have a real nuclear type energy behind your spirit and in your presence in order to create accumulation of wealth and accumulation of stuff. That's why we have to continue to learn and read and grow, and we'll grow into our prosperity. We'll grow into a bigger place and a bigger opportunity, etc. But it won't happen with a small mind, right? And so we got to continue to pray and reach for abundance. You know, I talk about praying as reaching. So very, very powerful prayer, man. I'm glad we were able to put that down. Let's go ahead and cover last week's topic. We did a part 2 of why do people push for monogamous relationships.
I was settle this time on part 2. I think I went harder on part 1. It wasn't for me to go hard in the paint on something that I really feel like is normally being pushed on me more than I push for. Not saying that I don't believe in monogamy or I push for it. I just don't always push on the up front because I really want to make sure you're in a good place before I even want to bring it up.
Right.
So most people want to bring it up on the early end. Well, I need to know you, make sure you understand me, and make sure you can see into me where I can see into you, and we can raise each other up.
Yeah.
But everybody just want to, because I don't want to mess with anybody else. That's fine. But the bottom line is, do I understand you? It got to be an understanding when it comes to a relationship. Because it's going to be a whole lot of give and take, because it's not always natural for two foolish people or selfish people to come together. Because I don't want to call all y'all fools. I like to say I did some foolish things. But I would say two people coming together is not just supernatural. Now, because they have two different vibes, two different ways. So that's why you got to do a lot of offset. And it's not always easy. That's why you also have to get the anointing of the Lord. You need that superpower. That's the third entity, not social media. People nowadays, and why relationships fail so much, is you get the super anointing of the media world in your thing, thinking that that's the blessing. So I'm gonna put it on Facebook and see what Facebook got to say. I don't know who will be responding in your behind, but promise you, it ain't somebody that gives a about you. But you want to listen to them. I'm just saying, the supernatural is gonna bring that inner you out. And it's going to make it more holy, and then you're going to have a better understanding of the person you're dealing with. Not the person on the side here just giving you a quick DM because you're giving all your business out. All I got to say is everything ain't for everybody. That's going to be up to you. And that's what this was all about.
Absolutely. And, just some of the key points that continue to come out of the show is that if you're going to find, love, normal love, it typically is with one person. And it's not with 2 or 3, it's not with a dozen. Monogamy is about one partner, one person you love, one person you have a sexual relationship, having one person in your life. Mm-hmm. And there can be many ups and downs in a monogamous relationship in and of itself. Not to mention, you start introducing other people, that can be challenging. But there are a lot of people who run from monogamous relationships because I think to some degree they're running from love, they're running from commitment, they're running from having to be held accountable, sometimes in life, and particularly in their ways of love, because you just can't come and just have a sexual relationship with somebody. You're going to have a long-term relationship. You got to have love, you got to have understanding and giving and sharing, etc., etc. And not in a lot of cases, both parties are not on the same level.
I like that level. And that level is one of the reasons why I wasn't quick to getting one. So let me throw myself
into the... You was ready and she wasn't ready.
It wasn't just about... I wasn't ready because I fought to get to where I was for so long in life and business. And then I had to fight my wife, which again, I had some errors in that as well.
Yeah.
But when you fight so much at home and at work, it gets to a point where you get tired. So when that dissolved, and I'm single now, I'm not quick to enter that again because, again, of all the mistakes that I have to hold myself accountable to before I even say that whole marriage thing, my whole mistakes, making sure it's straight because, again, I'm not going to keep going through something that he put me through. It is to teach me. I'm not going back through hell again because it is up to you to make these decisions. I didn't make the right ones the first time. It's up to you to make them right the second time. But we tend to keep on doing, thinking that it's going to change or a person going to change, and you haven't. So I'm working more on me than her. So when she's pushing me for something, I want to make sure she understands I might not be ready for that. Because I am the person that needs to lead. As a leader, you need to have something in you. I have to have a driving force. So don't give up your force for somebody else's foolishness.
And see, you know, in my mind, Jay, as you talk through that, what keeps coming to my thought process is you just don't love her really.
Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh.
All them
harsh
excuses that you use.
Them good ones.
They don't mean a damn thing.
It do to me.
Because if you loved her
I do.
enough,
I did.
all that would be thrown out.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I couldn't do it. I had that Daffy Duck in my ear.
You didn't know her well enough.
I know her.
You didn't love her enough.
She showed me enough that I didn't feel like she was different than what I was. There you go. So I'm telling you.
There go the answer. She showed you enough.
She showed me enough
that you knew you wasn't going to marry her.
She showed, yeah. I mean,
there you go. So there it is. You know,
I mean, you know, it's like that.
Yeah.
But then again,
I was playing around with the subject.
I didn't play. I'm being honest.
Nah, you was playing with the subject.
I wasn't playing. I can't settle. People don't like when we come blunt.
Right.
I can't settle because again, being blunt is saying she wasn't. My whole thing is it's not making her seem like she didn't measure up. It's just again they show you signs that you've been through. I've been through my own hell. It ain't got nothing to do with her.
I oftentimes wonder. Let's all think through this for just a second, right?
Work with that equation.
So, let's just hypothetically say there's, woman 1 and woman 2. Okay.
Or 3.
Or 3 or 4, right?
All right.
Woman 1 is a good woman.
Okay.
And woman 1 would take good care of you.
Okay.
You could see very clearly that she could take care of you well for the rest of your life.
Look good too.
And look good, you could be happy, whatever. And then at a certain point, there's something that she did or that you didn't like or she said or the way she behaves or whatever. Something turns you kind of against her and you decide that you're going to go to woman 2.
Okay.
All right? Now, I often have wondered is let's just say there's 20% bullshit in woman 1.
Okay.
There's also 20% bullshit in woman 2. It's just going to be a different type. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a different thing. So are you really choosing better? Are you really just sometimes not standing in the gap to say, hey, let me just fight it out with this woman. She's a good woman. Hey, are we always going to be making decisions for the next 20%er? Because that's always what it's going to end up with. Like, we're always going to have somebody that's 80%, and that other 20% we got to be challenged with. So, why keep moving? Why keep moving? Why not just stop and fight with somebody who's good, who you love? What do you expect to get in the next one that you didn't have? Now, there's a lot of deficiencies in the world. I'm not checking that out. There's a lot of people with a lot of deficiencies that you don't want in your life, and I get that. But what are you looking for? What would make you want to be in a monogamous relationship?
What would make me is, again, it goes back to loyalty. And that ain't always shown. So again, as I go with one, she showed me 20%, she showing me 20, and the next one showed me 10. So the next one is pushed off because again, she ain't showing me too much anything. These two giving me the 20. But it is the loyalty into it. Is they really showing me that they're going to be there for me. Half the time is what you can do for them. So if I'm not being fulfilled any kind of way, that 20% ain't going to cut it for me. My whole thing is you don't even really see into me. If I got to argue with you because you ain't listening to me, then don't let that 20 fool you.
Yeah.
That 20 is to make you feel like I have to settle.
But women 1 through 4 are all gonna have that 20% layer, right?
Right.
So you trading one for other. You say I'll make sure that I have loyalty is gonna be one of my
loyalty got to be one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
That's favor. I favor that.
That's good.
Because I don't care if she loves me or not.
Yeah.
I feel like we can get to be in love with each other because now I can pour things and you can pour it back into me. You ain't gonna give everything on the upfront, and I get it. But most people don't even do what they say. And I'm so used to that. Everybody's looking for somebody to do something. So my thing is listen to your words. Can you fulfill what you say?
Right.
That's huge of a person that we miss because we fall in love. We fall in love with our identity of love. That's what you feel.
Right.
You don't even see what she's doing. She's honest. She's telling you. You ain't hearing it because, man, she fits all these other modes. Oh, man, that's just it. So then later on, you commit. You get with her. engaged, whatever, and now all of a sudden you seeing a whole lot of things different. You ain't seeing something different. You finally just paying attention. And that's what I call foolishness, because if you really understand that you've been through a lot, you're going to start seeing things on the upfront. So if I see them, I don't always have to address them. I just know it might not be.
And it's easier to see them the older you get.
I ain't throw that part in there, but okay.
Well, you know, we game big time, right? So it is just about time for us to take our first break, and I want you folks to stay tuned. I got a few cuts for you, kind of old school loving cuts.
You gonna tell them time?
Huh?
You gonna tell them time? You wanna wait?
I'm gonna wait on that one, but I'm gonna wait till we get a little further in. But y'all stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Jay, and to my audience, yes, we don't see the comments, but again, when we take a break, we do. And I heard the sound wasn't out there, so again, we had to get that fixed.
Yeah, we apologize for any technical difficulties. And we always got 3 or 4 cameras in the room, so our show is always posted on all over the internet, which I didn't share with you before the break. So if you want to catch the last show, Why Do People Push for Monogamous Relationships? Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We are everywhere that you are. That's Black Planet, Craigslist, Offer Up.
I'm trying to go on Pornhub. What you talking about? Wherever you want to go, we're going to try to be there for you.
We're going to be right there. I mean, that's the key, right? That's the key to marketing nowadays. So
key it up. We'll be there.
Yeah. So we want to welcome Buddha in the studio. What's up with you, Buddha?
Slow motion, man. You know how it is.
I know how it is. Okay.
This slow motion is how I do it. Yeah, that feels sexy, but this slow motion.
Yes. Slow motion. Uncle Phil.
Yeah. Uncle Phil all the way. I ain't lying. Watching.
Yeah, today I am.
Philip Drummond, right?
Turn the wrong way, he'll get you. That's Phil at his best.
Kind of leads us into our discussion for tonight.
Okay.
So tonight, folks, we are talking, this is a very interesting subject, and let me go ahead, let's preface this subject, Jay, tonight with the simple fact that we are inexperienced in covering this type of subject, and we don't know layman's terms and what's going on in the world and how they talk about it and speak about it. There may be some other names that should be used for the kinds of terminology that we may use, but we offer no offense to anyone.
Yes.
We have nothing but love for every person on the globe, and we just want to talk about it to get some understanding. And I think Jay really, bringing this subject to the table, and there's been a few observations that I've had that I'm going to drive into early in the game, but we just want to say that there's no pun intended. We just want to have a discussion about this. Parents no longer want babies. They want theybies. Theybies. Theybies.
I'm sorry.
Your theybies will decide their gender later in life. Now, at the outset, this is a preposterous type of thing, right? I guess I'm already putting a stamp on it if you folks are listening. It sounds like a preposterous discussion, but the discussion about, let me just give you an overview of what it really is talking about here. Parents no longer have babies, they have theybies. There is a constituency in the world who are lobbying for children to no longer be labeled as male or female. They want their children to be able to somehow choose for themselves what they want to be called, what gender they want to be. And they are suggesting that the law should protect children up until the age of 4, and then somehow or another a child will have enough couth to make a decision about their own gender. And as I said in the beginning, it is a preposterous notion. However, there are folks lobbying for it and would tell me that I'm way in the wind. I just don't have any levels of understanding about how you can change one's gender. You might can live a different lifestyle than your gender. You may be able to run from some of the truths of the normal world for some time, but you cannot deny one's gender. And ultimately, what this argument suggests is that there are a constituency of people who are, in my mind, perpetuating the gay and homosexual world. And, I take nothing from those who make their own choices. You live your life the way you want to live, but when you start tampering with divinity, I think you really set precedent to a whole new level of destruction. And that's, what this, oftentimes is suggesting. Now, there's so many discussions that I'm thinking might just jump out of this conversation. But, Jay came up with this subject because he got excited about something that he had seen and he had been seeing in social media, and decided that we need to speak out on it. And we did some homework, and there's some facts that will come to rise as we come through this. But tell us what your initial thoughts were, Jay.
Mine was initially they're bringing more stuff to social media that this we're not really paying attention to, and we just say, oh man, this is just ludicrous, and we let it fly by. Okay, well, they done got judgments on some of this stuff already.
Some laws and rules and stuff. Yeah.
So when you're hearing about it, it's really behind the scenes. But so by the time social media starts gravitating to it, it's pushed off, but then it hits you in the backside because you're not taking it serious. You're hearing it, but you don't even want to believe it. Well, brainwashing happens that way. My whole thing is don't let social media get you to a point where you don't have an opinion, you don't have a voice. Because I really feel like that is what it's about, having a voice and having an opinion.
Yes.
So when I heard this ain't something for me just to blow off and be like, yo, my kids are older, this some crazy stuff they just came up with, and keep it moving. If I'm going to do this platform how I really want it to be a round table of a discussion,
yes,
no matter what it is, I should be able to discuss it.
Absolutely.
Now, there's a lot of things in the media right now I'm not trying to. I heard about the Wendy. I heard about T.I. I'm not trying to go with fame and all that. I'm talking about things that we can relate to that affects us and how we raise our kids.
Yes.
That's why I brought this, because you might offend somebody. I have a point of view, and if I offend somebody, I'm not apologizing. I'm giving you an understanding of a debate. I'm only debating. If you want to get in your feelings, then don't write in, don't listen to me. Take your feelings and you do it the way you want. But my son is here. I brought my oldest child because I have an opinion on how I raised him, and he can speak for himself. They talking about 4, he a grown man, he can speak now. Yeah. So just like you think he can make a decision strongly at 4, he can make a decision at 31. And if you don't like his decision, he can talk to his sisters and brothers. I got 5 of them. Feel free to talk to any one of them. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't feel like I imposed anything. From the time they was born, I let them have a little bit of free reign. But don't start imposing on me on what I need to do because you feel a certain way. Because I don't think that got nothing to do with the child. That's the parent. You ain't going to get on social media and start telling me I changed me because that's what you feel. You got me big.
Yeah, and there's so many things you said I want to address there, but that is exactly what the notion was. It's a style of parenting, right? It's a style that basically suggests that the parents are going to be kind of lighthearted on choosing their child's gender. They're going to allow their child the free will to choose their own gender. And so if my son wants to wear a dress, then, that's okay. It's just fine if my son wants to wear a dress. And, if my daughter, wants to wear drop jeans and boots all the time and hoodies, that's okay. That's just fine. And so, it is, they got some real interesting language, to these arguments that are, kind of suspect, you know what I mean? Like, so here's what is going on kind of in the laws and in the rules. And so somehow, this particular family, we call them Dottie and C, had crossed what they call a major bridge. And this bridge was celebrated. It was celebrated in a huge way by the gay communities, that a child was labeled as you under gender for unknown. And this was on the child's birth certificate. And so this was the first ever birth certificate that did not have a gender. The first genderless child. And obviously we don't know what gender is. It would be easy to find out. But they have kept that hidden. And so the child is now considered unknown. And the child will grow up in a home and seemingly in a space where they will be allowed to cross the lines of gender in their normal daily behavior. And they will not be taught what a man is, and they will not be taught what a woman is. They will be taught what a human is, perhaps. And, sometimes, if you took the labels off of some of these things, you could potentially, it would take the eye of Christ, but you could potentially see how they are trying to soften the lines between men and women. And they may not think of it in that way. They are trying to maybe bring some unity and some togetherness, maybe that they just don't understand how to do it. But, yeah. I know it sounds a little extreme, but, I'm just thinking about...
Not even
W-H-A-T. Yeah. And you're right. I was trying to bring some
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear look, crap, I can't...
you never speak up until you're coming against me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm riding with you on this. I'm riding with you.
I'm looking at it from a Christ perspective. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, bro. But you said you don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm sorry, I'm trying to offend you. Because you need to open your eyes and see what they trying to do. I mean, it's the same.
What is they trying to do?
It's brainwashing. It's the same. Look, first of all,
okay.
Of course it's brainwashing.
Is it brainwashing to get to more
It's brainwashing to get you just like the Matrix. They trying to get you to the Matrix, so you don't see anything. You just following in their footsteps like little robots. So you telling me that you want your child to be gender neutral. Mm-hmm. So you're not gonna tell the child that your boy that he's a boy, or your girl that she's a girl until she's 4, and be like, no, sweetie. Well, no, baby. You make your own decision on what you want to be, a male or a female. Okay, so what other major decisions is that 4-year-old gonna make? Oh, I'm gonna be an alcoholic? I mean, I'm not going to college? I mean, come on. 4 years old, you making a life like this is who I am, this is who I'm about to be? Come on. They need to be offended with this. Prime example, okay. You trying to take something good and make it bad. Just like the Rainbow Coalition, right? Black Panthers, Rainbow Coalition. The logo was a rainbow. So now you're telling me that the equal rights that we were trying to get, you say, nah, y'all can't get it. We're gonna kill all y'all. We gonna kill all y'all leaders. So later on, we gonna make it the logo for the LGBT community, and they get equal rights. Come on, man. I mean, if you can't see it, you need to be able to see it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
So it's obviously an agenda being perpetuated, but I'm just trying to understand.
It's a conspiracy. That's what it is.
And where does it lead to, though? Where is it going to? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Hell and damnation.
Hell and damnation. You know what? There's no better answer than that. It will lead to hell and damnation. Because now you got a whole world of people who potentially don't have any clue who they really are.
No identity of who you are until you quote unquote 4 years old, and then you can.
Yeah.
I'm not even in kindergarten. They're 4 years old.
You know, gender.
Ain't around nobody else.
I mean, come on. What?
And you know,
I mean, what can?
There's you can't even fathom.
Hey, give me the keys, Dad. I'm about to go drive. At 4 years old.
Can't reach the pedal. No seatbelt.
I mean, come on, for real.
Listen, I told you. Hey.
I mean, come on. Come on, man. Really, Theybies?
But listen, you're trying to say come on to some people who are completely who are completely, you know, in a whole nother zone. You know what I mean? You talking about if you saying come on to the people who perpetuating this, they're on an agenda. They're not trying to use rationale. They're not using reason like you're using right now. They don't come from maybe normal environments. They're not thinking in a normal fashion. They're not thinking in a heterosexual fashion. A mother and a father.
You have to just ask them the question. What are you?
And they'll tell you that ain't none of your damn business.
I mean, come on.
If their birth certificate say you,
If
They got a lot of hair around their face. I know.
if you're telling me,
hang on. Look at it on the birth certificate. It don't got an E for neutral. It got you.
No.
Yeah, who are you? You? I'm just saying. I don't want to joke about because somebody wants to.
This is a laughing matter.
It is. But hold on, as we laugh. Again, that's their movement, and one of mine is to get us to see what they're doing to understand you. My whole thing is, I didn't agree with it, and that's why I brought this on, is not to offend them, but to disagree, because I like the traditional way that I was raised. Now, if one of mine came back and said something different to me, which is being faced today, where some are saying that they want to be of another gender, we're going to have to settle that. And again, how you handle that's internal. Okay? That's what you and your household take. Mine, I can only tell you, I had to endure what I was already handed down. And as I did my boys and my girls, I treated them as with their gender, as in with how they came out. It wasn't on their birth certificate, it was how they actually came out.
And let's just. Oh man.
No, it's time to cut.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna go more depth, but next one we gotta bring my boy Reverend Jeffrey in.
Yeah.
But what I'm gonna tell you before we bring Jeffrey and anybody else, do not let this offend you in any kind of way. This is a conversation we want you to have, but it's not about us and it's not about our opinions here and now. This is something that was on the mainstream early on, and I want to make sure y'all understand that these are the things that's coming out. We should be able to talk about them. This is a circle of unity that we shouldn't have to fight. We should have a debate that we can all talk about. And if you can't do that, then what are you doing?
Right.
Because naturally, nothing. Because when I first heard this, I wanted to do nothing. I was like, this is ludicrous. I was compelled to tell you, I don't think it's ludicrous. I really feel like it's time for us to start speaking on it.
There you go.
So that's what we're doing.
There you go. And you folks stay tuned. Right back. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Back from break that Bar Talk with Jay.
Back.
Man, the person that's coming up next, I don't know how the day went, and y'all already know. If he had a bad day at work, we all about to have it. Not for sure how his day went, but we're about to find out. Jeffrey, how you doing tonight, big baby?
Jeffrey?
Chirp.
Crickets?
Is Jeffrey there?
Right.
Okay. We can.
Hear you? Can you hear me?
There you go.
I got you, baby. I
Yeah,
got you,
by
man.
accident, my bad.
Glad you could be with us
What's going
again
on,
tonight,
Jeff?
man. How you doing, bro?
All right, Brother Jay, Brother Crab, Brother Buddha. What's going on, fellas?
Holding on.
We know how it is, bro.
Yes, sir. Doing well.
Glad to hear that, glad to hear that, glad to hear that. Well, fellas, I need y'all to understand, on the record, this does not happen often, but today was a bad day.
Oh, yeah. All right, Jeff, we're going to call you back tomorrow.
I want to hear this.
I'm leaving. I'm out.
Now, before we actually get into this thing, I'm still going to give you my disclaimer.
Okay.
Because what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you. And if it doesn't apply to you, I want you to put your foot up in the shoe. But if it does apply to you, Lord Jesus, bless your soul tonight. Now, ladies, I got one reason for the habitually single woman. And fellas, I got one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But ladies, you go first.
Okay.
All right, ladies, some of y'all are single simply because you don't know your place. Ladies, I need y'all to understand something. See, you so quick to talk about what a man is supposed to do and what a man is supposed to say and how a man is supposed to act that you have simply lost all semblance of what a woman is supposed to do. Now, I'm going to get just a little bit biblical on that, but in Proverbs 18th chapter, 22nd verse, it says, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. That's the Bible, y'all. So you claim that you are Ruth waiting on Boaz. But see, what you forget is that Ruth did not wait on Boaz. Boaz already knew who Ruth was because of her outstanding reputation. Boaz knew of the sacrifices Ruth had made for others and how she gave of herself in spite of everything that she had lost. Ruth was already wife material before she met Boaz. But you run around copying the worst behaviors of some of the worst men out there while expecting to be treated and rewarded like Ruth. Ladies, here go the tip. When you stop acting like Rufus and you start acting like Ruth, well, perhaps your ass won't be single.
Wow.
Oh, man, he had a bad day. Rufus. Ooh, that's good.
Hey, Rufus.
You don't know your place.
Ooh, that dog is dog. That dog is dog style.
You don't know your place.
Yeah. I ain't even touch that. We gonna hand that one back to you, brother.
Yeah, bro.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all asses off
We
the
need
hook.
to after that one. Lean,
Fellas, you are next. All right, fellas, some of y'all are single simply because you are still a slave. Now, before you start, let me say that systematic racism is real. Discrimination is real. Disparate treatment under the color of law is real. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you still a slave because you will give up your seat without even being asked. You will give up your power through your inaction. Someone can approach you with a right opportunity and you will pass it because of the fear of the thought of you having to grow beyond your own limited expectations and development. You choose the comfort of complacency. You choose the allure of laziness. You choose the promise of passivity over the fruits of your own labor, your own self-investment, your own satisfaction of determination, all because you just want to be cool. See, you want to be conscious, but just not that cool. See, you want to be cool, but you don't want to be too black. See, you want to be hip, but you don't want to be too responsible for what's going on in your own neighborhoods. But here's the thing. It is impossible for you to be cool and for you to be black because black attracts too much heat for you to stay cool. You can't be black and conscious and cool because what America has shown you from what we have experienced, if that doesn't push you to some type of action, then you the fool. And you gonna stay the fool. A single fool.
That was nice. That was nice. A single fool.
A single fool, huh? Oh man, let me tell you.
Best fool
still a slave. A lot of us are still a slave. And I love what he said. He said you give up your power. He said you give up your power for apathy and laziness and inaction, right? What he's really trying to say is stand up. We ain't just talking about stand up in yourself. We talking about stand up in your community. Yeah. Stand up for some of the, Jay brought out a message that's somewhat controversial. So controversial that we might have gotten kicked off social media tonight because it's controversial. Yeah. But stand up and be the rebel, and that's who you have to be. You can't give away your power because you're afraid to say something. You're afraid to do something about it. And that's what he's talking about here, man. So powerful, Brother Jeffrey. We'll go ahead and hand it back over to you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to understand something here. See, just like you were born, just like you look right now, with every piece of every fiber of your being, you are enough. In fact, you are so much that an entire system had to be designed to oppress all that you are. Men and women are both equally blessed, and we're balanced. We're formed to balance each other. There's some things that men do better and some things that women do better, and that's perfect because that's what we need. We need that strength, and that strength in diversity. But what we also need is a common bond. For some reason, children ain't enough no more. I don't know why that's not enough for us to have a common bond, but here's something else we can bond over. We can bond over the need to do better than our parents did. We can bond over the need to do better than our grandparents. I won't stop at grandparents because those great-grandparents, they showed up and showed out. They were doing, segregation, but they had some wealth going on. It had to be taken from them. Their wealth had to be taken from them. So we can reestablish that type of wealth right now between the men and women we got in our communities, with where we are. We don't have to have a handout. We go get something. We're going to get a check. Don't get it twisted. And I mean the $1,400. We're going to get the government repairing the damage it did to our communities. At the same time, though, we ain't got to wait on them. So I'd like to stress to all the brothers out there and all the sisters out there, we've been arguing with each other enough. It's time to just talk to each other and learn to understand each other, communicate and listen. And when we do that, our kids see that we're talking and they're listening to what we say. And when they see us talking to each other with love, they will repeat that and it will go down to their children, and that will build a better community for them. And that's all I got about that.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful, bro. Jeffrey, every week almost, as you tie down your segment, you talk about families and you talk about unity and you talk about kids and neighborhoods and communities, and you really do such a fantastic job with that. And we're talking about a subject tonight that is quite the opposite of that. And, we all are in agreement that it is somewhat preposterous, but we're not quite understanding where it's going or what they're trying to achieve. Tonight, we're talking about parents who no longer want babies, they want theybies. They want to let the child decide their gender sometime after the age of 4. And we know who's pushing these agendas, but we're just not sure why they're attempting to do what they're doing. Any insight on that?
Well, I'll tell you this, and I read that article on the movement to establish Theybies. And I also remember hearing an article on NPR or a story on NPR, and they talked to a young lady who was raised that way. And she hated her parents for doing it. They raised their child gender neutral. And this child went through school having to pull up her shirt to show boys that she was a girl, so they would leave her alone. She said it was so much stress put on her, and she began to internalize it, and she hated the fact that her parents raised her like that. Now, don't get it twisted. There are some things you got to teach your children. You got to teach them, first of all, how to treat other people. But the way that you properly prepare them for growing up and for what's coming in life is to teach them what they are. And it ain't a damn theyby. It's a little boy or a little girl. You're not raising grown theys. You are raising grown men and grown women. You're not raising children. You're raising grown men and grown women. It was Frederick Douglass who said that it is better to repair the hearts of children than to try to heal broken men. I'm paraphrasing, but you get it. We'll double that for women. So this whole Theyby movement, I get how some parents are just so damn lazy. They have no sense of parental skill, and they're going to throw all things to the wind and say, I'm just going to raise a little they. Well, you need to Sit your ass down with that food.
I'm sorry, man.
And that's the end.
That's it. Sit your ass down.
With that foolishness.
Yeah, sit your ass down.
Man. What a marvelous excerpt on the subject, man. Thank you so much, Brother Jeffrey. Any parting words for us, my friend?
Don't ever mess with my money. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't ever mess with my money. I'm a nice brother. You mess with my family or my money, you see a whole different side of me. And it takes me a minute to let that spirit go, because that spirit, it's like a pit bull.
Right.
You know, when a pit bull grab hold of something, it takes a whole movement to let it go. A whole movement. You almost have to mortally woo that dog to get that dog to let it go.
Yes,
sir.
Yes, that's exactly right.
So even though I got my money back, just don't play with it.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it there.
I'm all in. Thank you so much, Brother Jeffrey, and we hope to see you next week, my friend.
All right, fellas, take it easy.
Okay.
Take care, Jeff.
And you have heard from the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey.
If y'all didn't, sit your ass down.
With that foolishness. We're going to go ahead and take another break. We'll be right back on Bar Talk with Jay. How long we got? Another 3 minutes? Okay, okay. Don't you just love what he had to say about
Man, I'm past loving it. It gives me a great insight because, again, he hit on a lot of different things. Not just the movement, but, again, just how he thinks.
Yeah.
What I love about Jeffrey is he's upfront, and that's why I bring this whole forum. If you cannot speak freely and understand the power of you, you can hear it through somebody else. And that's what I hear with Jeffrey. He is external easily, but he had to internalize a whole lot to get to that point.
Yes.
And that's where I want y'all to build up to, because we're being faced with a lot of things, and you cannot just keep taking it without saying nothing. It's the time and the place right now to start speaking how you feel and what's in you. And to make it like from 0 to 4, you can make all these decisions.
Yeah.
I got grown people ain't making no damn decisions.
Yeah,
they are
right.
sitting and they will get up for anybody, for anything, and not realizing, yes, I give my seat up for a woman and a child. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not going to give up how I am raised in my whole platform just because you asked. That's where the difference is. I understand respect. Mm-hmm. And I definitely understand disrespect. Don't come at me the wrong way, and I won't have to handle you the wrong way.
Exactly.
That's just how this is all about, and that's what this show is about. It's about giving you the platform to stand strong, not to be weak. If you with this whole movement, I'm not talking about you, or I'm not with you for sure.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, even I'm not with you, I am for human life.
Yeah.
I am about raising these children to a point where they're going to be the strong individuals because they're our futures. You feel like it's one way, I feel like it's another. That's fine. That's just a debate. But don't hurt my babies. We got people pedophiling, going after, and doing things to them, and you want to talk about how to raise them. Let's protect them.
Let's raise them like we've been raised.
Right.
Raise them.
Raise them and protect them.
Yes.
Like with our women and rights. Protect. But we want to talk foolishly because, again, that's what's going on. That don't mean it has to continue.
Right.
That's all I'm saying on my platform. Let's raise up correctly. That's all.
I like that.
You know, in regards to protection, you know, every minute brown-skinned woman goes missing. You don't hear Amber Alert about that, but every time somebody else goes missing, we get an Amber Alert. You know.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's with that trafficking stuff right there.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Nearly 70, 80,000
I'm going to tell you
black
right now.
women have been missing.
And all I'm going to say right now is I'm going to do a challenge to every black man that's out there, Bloods, Crips, and everything else. Let's protect the little ones. Yeah. So now, since you going to thug and you going to kill each other over turf, let's kill each other over the fact that somebody's taking one of these young ones. So when you see them, let's deal with that. Yeah. Let's stop playing around with it, because the bottom line is, I don't know that child that might be abducted, but the bottom line is, when you see somebody grab, let's do something. I'm putting a challenge out there that might mean something, because these kids have a right to live. They don't have no reason to be snuffed out because of somebody else's insecurity or whatever agenda they have. Let's all protect. And my whole thing is, no matter the color of the child. Let's let that child live long enough to make a decision.
Yeah.
Not this movement thing that they talking about. Let's let them live.
Yeah.
We don't let them get abducted. We ain't worrying. What you talking about? I am worried. I want them to. They are our future.
Yeah.
I want them to be the best they can be, regardless of how they might be raised, what they going through. Give them an opportunity. Everybody that's rich wasn't always rich. All right? So let's give them an opportunity. And I don't feel like that's really happening because we so busy caught up in ourselves. But I will keep a visual eye, and I am licensed to carry. So if that's what you want to do in front of me, the only thing I can tell you is he gave me a mission. It might just be to take you out. That's up to you.
Huh?
There you go. And it's time to take a break. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay. Man, I was on Facebook. I heard that's what? Funky Foley. You gonna get it in.
That's a wild song.
It's
man.
very wild.
Yeah, very wild.
I'm done.
We talked about it on the show a couple times now. Don't act like y'all new to this. We true to this.
So tonight, folks, we are talking about parents who no longer want babies, they want Theybies. I think we've all come to an agreement that that is not the best way to raise a child. And we've never seen that. There are some children in the world who have been raised that way, as Brother Jeffrey was talking about. And there are some children who despise their parents as a result of, because they experience so much more pressure. And you know, a lot of times you can have your own stance, but sometimes you're keeping your own stance cost you in the world. When other people know about it, they judge you and they mash on you and they tell you that, you know, you're no good, you're not a whole person, you're not this, that, and the other. And you know, that's what the young lady experienced that Jeffrey was talking about. So what's quite the opposite is rather than allowing a child, I want to take us down an alleyway right here and see how we feel, because I really want to express, and Buddha was trying to stop me a little while ago. I'm attempting to express some empathy and some Christ-like love in this situation, right? So the best way to do that is to bring it home. So what if your son, 18, 19, 20 years old, came to you and said that he's gay? How would you handle that as a father? What would you say? What would you do? I mean, you love him. You've been raised.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be honest. If it didn't happen to you, you're guessing.
Yeah.
There's enough people out there to give you factual. I'm not gonna guess, because I really feel like it can happen.
It can.
Not necessarily at 4. Okay?
Yeah,
and my whole
we
thing, and that's why I'm getting on that case, because my whole thing is I love my boys and my girls. I love them. But bottom line, if they came to me, I don't know, but one thing I know, my love is still my love. I might feel like it could be something I did. Maybe I wasn't there enough. Maybe I didn't show them a good man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take it on me first before I even look at them, because they say it. I gotta comprehend what they saying and how I try to put on them a tradition. So failure start with me first, and this the problem with today. Mm-hmm. Y'all keep looking at them and you ain't looking at yourself.
Yeah.
Failure happens first when you recognize there's something that you put a plan together that you thought was gonna be, and it's not mean it's gonna be perfect.
Perhaps.
It's fine.
Perhaps.
But then I'm giving a
you raised the child like you raised all the rest of your children.
That's
this
fine.
child just came back in. You didn't do anything wrong.
Let's just say he did. What I did, I still gotta love that child.
What do you say to that child? What do you say?
I think
I'm coming to you telling you that, okay.
I can't go with the whole homosexual thing, right? So the only way that I can relate to it is, you know, when I had the conversation with my parents, and I told him that I was no longer a Christian.
Okay.
So, you know, hardest conversation I ever had in my life.
Okay.
Was, I mean, because you got to think about it. I was raised AME, Bible study. I mean, we in the church on during the summertime with vocational Bible study class and all that. You know, but the thing is, you know, I went to college, started reading different things, and you know, I actually started questioning. You know, so when I would go to, you know, different churches and stuff, I would question the pastor, and I couldn't get a definitive answer. So I, you know, took my own walk. So the only thing that I can go with is, you know, they didn't agree with it, and they didn't like it, but they respected me for actually coming to them and telling me.
And here's my question. I love it. That's a perfect example. What made you go tell them? What prompted you to say, I need to communicate this to my parents? What was it in you? What was, something happened, or something you had an aha, or what?
We just always, I mean, I can pick up the phone and talk to my parents about anything. So when I made the decision, out of respect for them, I had to. It wasn't a question. I had to, you know, swallow my pride and just let them know, look, it's not nothing that you did. You raised me exactly the way you felt was the best way to raise me, with the direction that you had from your parents. You didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
This is my own walk. So I just had to tell them.
Okay.
And, you know, to this day, they still, you know, why don't you come to church with me? And they're like, well, we know you really ain't a Christian, but just do it for me. You know, so, I mean, I do it.
Right.
You know, and, you know, and
you can't really do that in the gay homosexuals area. just come let me just see you do it one time for me.
Yeah, do it for the vine. Do it for the vine.
Just make me feel like you're straight.
I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, though. Yeah, it's the same
you know,
thing.
it's about what you had to give to me. You felt was the best at that point in time, and at the end of the day, it's still going to be that person's decision.
It is, and so I haven't heard anybody really deal with the conversation though. Right here, I'm asking you, what would you say to them? Because when they confide in you, they're going to need something, and either you're going to be willing to give it to them or not. You could come at them like, oh man, nah, you know, or you could come like, hey, you know, it ain't gonna change how I love you. It ain't gonna, you know, what do you say to them?
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Give me the words.
This happened to me, but it wasn't one of mine. So I never want to put my kids in that position because it wasn't them. But I had a best friend, and his son was, and it hurt him. And he came out and told him. So when he came and told me, I had nothing but jokes because at the time he was hurt. Yeah. And I didn't want him to be in that pain. So I had this jokes to get him by.
The son?
No, I'm talking about the dad. The dad told me that the son said it was hurtful to him. Yeah. It ain't how you want him to be, that's not how you raised him. It hurt him.
It was, the dad was hurt.
I am trying to get a smile back because that's a painful thing to go through and I don't know nothing about it. Let's be real. So I had a conversation with the son later on. Because the son respected me as well. He knew I was not kin to the family, but I was just so tight with the family.
Okay. Yeah.
And I had a cordial conversation with him that he thought was going to be rough, and it wasn't. Because my whole thing is, he wasn't my son, so me having questions for him, he was ready for it because he wanted to get his dad to hear what he wanted to tell me. His dad didn't want to hear it. Because he told me he was uncomfortable with the fact that how he didn't feel good about being able to be honest about how he felt.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
And with him talking to me, he felt like at least I would listen. Where no one else would. Well, no one else that didn't want something from him. I'm asking because I care. You family to me. So I'm willing to listen.
Right.
Well, why not my dad? I ain't your dad.
Yeah.
I'm not here for him. I'm here for you. I don't understand all what's going on, but I'm willing to listen. And guess what? It opened up a platform for him to speak.
It did, but did you give him some advice? Did you
I
give him
couldn't
some
give him advice at
insights?
the time when the person is talking. You can't do that. Because one, he ain't asked.
I mean, at the
he,
end of
he
the-
wanted to speak. And when he spoke powerful. He spoke powerful where he felt a certain way at a certain time. And he felt suppressed because he didn't know how to come out. Because he felt like the pressure of the world would bear down on him. When he got confident enough, strong enough to say it, it came down just like he thought it would.
Yeah.
He was happy for the fact that somebody was at least willing to hear what he had to say. So as I hear it, don't judge what you hear it. So when I heard it, it impacted me because he gave me more knowledge about a situation I knew nothing about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not saying it swayed me or anything. It is information of something I never knew what was going on. He didn't want to let me know about the no label, the films, he told me about something that was going on in that society. I had no clue, nor did I even care to. But as he gave it to me, you can't ignore what a person is going through. Quit judging when you don't know the facts. If this is him, let him express himself. The biggest problem is you don't care to hear the expression. You don't care to hear it because you're judgmental.
Yeah.
I said, stop. I had to do myself. Don't judge because his dad was that way. And me and his dad tight. And I understand how he is because I would have been the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got to go that same way to him.
Okay. So, and that was an excellent dialogue on listening.
Hmm?
He finishes the conversation, and you just walk away.
No, he didn't even try to finish. As we was trying to circle it up, because again, Dad was coming in, Dad went here.
Mm-hmm.
Dad cut it off, okay? Because he was talking on it, and it just irritated his dad. I have to respect.
So
I'm in his house. So as he's ending, I told him, and to the both of them, y'all have a different opinion, and I understand it, and it's not for me to make a judgment or a say. I just heard it, and I'm leaving. Now, as I left, it wasn't for me to continue something that was starting to irritate the house. Please understand where you at.
Yeah.
I was at their house.
Yeah,
I have
know
to
your
respect
audience.
that man's house because it was irritating him. He loves me. The child loves me. You don't cause that kind of irritation. It is something that have to work out. Through time, he came back to his son. And he said he did it because of the fact that he was at least out front and talking.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go through some things. The father went through an illness. He was on the side. The son came. Okay? So when the son went through his illness, the father came. They never stopped. They had a problem with they was choosing their lifestyles. But you don't stop a love that you have.
Exactly.
That's your child.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is when I seen this, I had to learn a loving way of dealing with opposition. It ain't just rectifying gender. They gonna do things you don't like, period.
Yeah.
There's things that your child gonna do that you do not side with. You don't just give up on your child.
Yeah.
Because they don't take your way. They have a choice like your ass had a choice. You came out because you went through your own hells, but now all of a sudden you good at going through your hells. Well, first of all, if you really recognize as a parent, you don't want your kids to go through any hells.
Yeah, you're right.
You taking your imperfect ass ways and trying to give it to a person that don't understand your imperfect because they trying to be perfect.
Yeah.
And you the one ain't making sense, but you're judging. That's why I say get off that pedestal and realize there's things going on past what you know.
Yeah.
We don't care to know because we know best for you. The best for you that you didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that means to me when you pass down. I'm passing down better wisdom than I chose. Really? Because they don't understand what all you chose because you ain't telling it all.
Yeah.
So you ain't selling shit. You selling half-ass. They got to know more for they can realize no one's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But we talk like a perfect world. It's not gonna be that way.
And that's just the kind of empathy that I was looking to hear. That, yeah, you know, you cannot be judgmental. You really have to, even though you don't like it, like Buddha had a perfect example. Even though you don't like it, you still have to make sure that you stay connected,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can't express your dislike so much that it drives the person away, especially if that person was coming to you trying to confide in you.
Mm-hmm.
It would. We talk a lot about relationships and cheating, and if your spouse decided that they was gonna come to you and confess that they had cheated, even though you want to blow up, you got to have some honor for what they did and coming to you. And I think that's the same example. That
Hold on. Oh, hell no. Yeah, hold it.
Okay.
Listen, I don't even want to trip on this, but I'm going to have to small. I've been with you, and you just now come to me, let me know you cheated on my ass. And you think it's going to go, oh, I got to be a listening. Hold on. I'm in my feelings. No.
She love you. She just trying to be honest.
She might want to duck at this point. Her love might want to tell her to duck. Because hold on, your action makes me want to react.
She just being
No.
You gotta have some empathy for her.
And the empathy is.
What if you wanted to go to her and be honest?
Well, honestly, I know she's gonna have some feelings, and it's gonna be a certain way. And I'm just hold on. He said this. I'm going with this
Go
because
ahead,
this
Phil.
got presented to me.
Go ahead, Phil.
I'm gonna have some problems.
Go ahead, Phil.
He said, "Have some empathy and sympathy shitting me. You just cheated. You gonna say it like that?" He said, cut. No, ain't no cut. She should have cut it before she said it. He said she cheated. Boob ain't stopping nothing. Listen, I'm having some problems.
Y'all folks stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Realizing what's going on around you, but being more empathy, sympathy to realize I can't change someone else, but I can understand the vision that I have for what he gave for me. Realizing somebody else has a choice. That's what just this whole society need to realize. We have choice in this, all right? And again, no matter what you want to bring, I have a choice to accept or not. You're saying from 0 to 4 to do something some way. I'm not arguing your thoughts. That's what you want to do. That's up to you. That's your movement. My movement is realizing I love what I was taught. And I want to transpire what I was taught down to the next generation that's beneath me that can touch me. Because I love it. I understood it. I wanted it, and guess what? I have to receive that they might not care for all what was given. But that don't mean it wasn't a seed that wasn't growing. Because they still need it. Because now when I say it, just because my boys did not. It doesn't mean I stopped my seed, because when I go over to Phil's house, how you feel? How your kids look at me?
Uncle.
There you go. When they look at me, uncle, they know they got love, they got support, right?
Right.
You pass that past your kids. I give it to a person that I date. Once I date you and I get to know you, I get to know your kids. Your kids will look at me as a person that's going to be of a positive influence because I want to be that person. I am not a replacement for your daddy. I'm not a replacement for your mama. That's not me.
Right.
I am that person as a tribe to elevate and educate and give you what you need, because that's the vessel that he put in me.
Right.
So you give these kids every opportunity. You don't take from them. You add value to them. And at that point, they look at you as a valuable person in their life. They don't gotta be an uncle. They're a valuable person. Put value in things you do. And then things come, regardless of if one of my niece's nephew ever came to me and said something different than I wanted. What I wanted, God ordains things, not me. So now I'm trying to change things. I don't have to change, but what I can do is I can be more fair to realize that might not be a seed I sowed, but they remember what was sold. You feel me? And they know that they ain't gonna hate on people. They ain't gonna hurt nobody. I didn't hurt them. They gonna love on people because I love them. And these are the seeds that regardless of what they choose, they will take on.
Yeah.
And that way they will grow and prosper regardless of what your dislikes might be.
And see, this is where I have an issue with it.
What's that?
And I'm not gonna we're not gonna be naive on a panel and say that homosexuality does not happen. Homosexuality has been happening for a long time.
Correct.
Yes.
Long time.
Yes. Among
Right.
kings and the most impoverished. Absolutely.
Exactly. So the problem that I have with it is you are going to impose a view and not looking at biology. Now, if the child gets older, 18, 20, and they realize, look, hey, I like men or I like women. Okay, we can
Right.
sit down, we can have a discussion, and we can talk about it. Because at the end of the day, I can't change your choice. That's your choice. So I can't, how I feel about homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if you look at it, you're just loving another human.
Right.
And
what's the sexuality got to do with it?
Exactly. But the problem that I have with Theybies is that you're opposing on these are the most impressionable moments of a child development.
Yes.
And you're going to take that biology away from them.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I have with it.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking about, I have a problem with that too. Okay. What I'm thinking about is you're taking, I was thinking about blue and pink, right? You're taking those impressions away from them. You're taking the societal normal impressions of you're a boy, you stand up and pee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're
exactly. So how do you deal with that?
Well,
you understand?
I'm not
so,
even going to
hang on.
tell you racism.
I'm gonna have some fun.
So that's what I'm saying.
Hold on,
You're interfering with biology.
Yeah.
Let me have some fun with y'all. I'm gonna have some fun tonight on myself. I am. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because it's a true story. I couldn't make this shit up if I wanted to.
Okay.
All right. My sister.
Okay. So this
first
what
of all,
happened.
tonight.
All right. So
Tonight. My sister older than me, so a lot of people gonna have a problem with that because my sister look younger than me, but she ain't. My sister older than me, and my sister always had to take me with her because that's my mom. Mom, take the boy. Go with you. Now, my mom didn't understand. My sister was evil. My sister's mean. That's right, Regina. I'm talking about your ass. You was mean. You was mean to me. So you taking me around, and everybody seeing me, and they're like, "Yeah, this is my brother." And you dragging me around and stuff. So everybody's like, "Yo, this is Regina's little brother." So they treated me like I was nothing, or basically like a little girl. Regina did this to me. She just drove me around.
You treat me like a little girl.
She treated me like a little girl. This is my brother. And she pushed me over the corner because, she banned me. And I couldn't do nothing at the time. I'm like, really? And I'm over here, but I knew I was a boy. And I'm over here, and I can't do nothing because my mom was like, Regina can't go nowhere without you. Because it's a punishment. Regina, you going? Take your brother. Okay, and Regina's like, fine, I'll take him. I'm gonna stick his ass over here. She ain't care for me, and that's why me and her got problems today. Because you did this to me. So you put me over here, you made me sit over there and did things, and you having a good time. I'm sitting over here by my damn self, and they always come over. What's up, little young blood? Not what? You got a toy or something? I want to play. I'm sitting here, I'm bored, and they sitting there like, so you sister little brother. No. What else am I? Well, you hungry? Hell yeah, I'm hungry. You got something for me? No, not really. Why you ask? Ignorant, that's how they treat you, right? So you run around. So now I'm known as Regina's little brother. There ain't no way to be known.
That's not a bad way.
Yeah, it was when you
could be known as her little sister.
Now I wasn't going around the kitchen. Mama didn't dress me up like that.
You could have been a Theybies.
Now hold up.
You could have been a Theybies.
Tell you right now, what the hell y'all talking about? That's why I'm giving y'all reality on how I was really. I don't know what the hell that baby and shit y'all talking. I'm giving y'all reality. Hold on, hell no.
Some little motherfucker Regina drag.
It wasn't no something. I was dressed my gender. The hell you talking? You knew what I was. I might not have been hard, had no muscles, just little.
Right.
But that's how they did you. They pushed you to the side.
Yeah.
So at one time you question your own gender because I'm running behind my sister and they push you to the side. Mm-hmm. You know, you ain't a man. You want to be a man, but you don't know. So what I'm saying beforehand, I didn't think I was something else. I'm just saying, you always question because what you go through. My sister was older than me. Yeah. She doing her. She ain't never put no gown on me, treating me like a girl. My sister never disrespected me in any kind of way of that nature, ever. It's just she doing her, she had to drag me along. Yeah. All right? I'm giving y'all real reality when y'all talking about this to give y'all something to stand on because I'm a guy that's growing up. I'm a guy, young guy being dragged by a sister because she didn't want me. She wanted to have fun.
We get it. So we've all seen on many occasions where a young man is raised around all women. And somehow or another he comes out of that equation, perhaps having more feminine tendencies and maybe even being homosexual.
He can be.
Right? And we've seen that.
Judge that. Because I did.
We're not going to judge it. We've seen it.
We ain't judge it because I did. Yeah. So I can tell you it can be any way, but the thoughts. You can't change the thoughts. I had thoughts of, dang, I gotta go through this. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't thoughts that I can say that I can rationalize with anything else. I was impressionable. But see, I am a child hanging with his sister, and I'm pushed in a situation that she has to take me because she can't go without me.
Did you ever have a point where you say, I gotta be a boy? Like I gotta be a boy.
I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. Before you say it, I gotta answer this question. Before you say it. It was never questioned of that nature what I was going through.
Okay.
Now I won't put that. I'm giving you a thought pattern that more people can relate to. I was never pushed to my gender, what I am. It wasn't that. Remember who I was with. I was with my sister. I watched my sister do things. I didn't wear shoes. I didn't act like her. I'm with her. So again, as a boy that determined that, hey, that's her and I had to leave it alone, it's impressionable. She's my sister. She's in front of me. I have to try to protect her. I can't protect with something bigger than me. She's bigger than me. We all go through things. And then you have to rationalize and realize what you really want to be. It is something that I will say as a man now. As a young man, I had to go and endure. I can't tell you the impressions made me feel less than. I just know I felt in my feelings where I sat alone like, damn. Every time I gotta go with her, they send me over here. They do this to me. You know what I'm saying? They never mistreat me because they want to be with my sister. But my sister's like, you get on my nerves. My sister said things that make you. But my whole thing, she built me up to a point where I should spend today and I can speak my feelings. Because I endured as a young man what I'm not going to do as a grown-ass man. Okay. I would not go through that. That's all I'm saying. It can build you to greatness and it can destroy you to weakness. It's going to be on you how you take it. God has a joking heart where he lets you know you're going to have to endure. As you endure, it's up to you to accept. That's the power of choice. And I'm going to tell you, in these choices, it can go so many different ways. But what I can tell you is when you go through them, you go through them. And you can speak strongly because you've been through them. As I speak now, I promise you I've been through. There's no hatred towards my sister. I love her to death. I would never tell you what she did to me hurt me. It only built me. It built me to the strong person today. She say something to me I don't like, she'll know me. Yeah. She can't say shit to me. I won't speak back. Period.
What did you might say?
You know, when you say, a man he decided to become homosexual because he was raised by all women. You know, you have to understand and find out if he ever had any male figures in his life at all. Because I'm gonna tell you, I was raised by my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt. But I had cousins that would beat my ass.
Oh, that's how you learn how to fight.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, it was still I still had men present.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they weren't men at that point, but you know,
Older than you.
yeah, they were older than me, so they would hey,
Impressed.
they'd take to the grass.
Yeah.
They might want my butt
And
in a
they,
minute.
and they showed you that, hey, that's what men do. They might take you to the
we
ground.
fight, yeah.
Yeah, we fight.
That's what we do.
And
Now,
those impressions are very important.
you know, we
because that's
learn
your-
the cooking and the cleaning and all that, but when it's time to get down to business, hey, if you can't fight, something wrong with you.
Yeah, I'm all in right there, fellas.
Well, I will tell you all day long, the body whop and all the rest. Again, somebody added value to you.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I was saying to you is like being raised up in everybody feel like things are defined.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like things are always defined because when I went through this age with my sister taking me places, I was a lot older. You know, I way past 4. You know, I remember 0 to 4. I don't.
Exactly.
But when I remember this, you know, I was of age maybe 9 or 10.
Right.
You know, because my sister won't give her age, but difference from my age, old enough where my mom wanted my sister to take me to stop some things.
Mm-hmm.
Smart decision. It was just bad for me.
Yeah.
Now, when you go through these things, it can be a negative and a positive. It's up to you. My whole thing is, as you go through them, you endure them. I remember things that I can push off on my niece and my sons to help them realize how I can cope.
There you go.
They gave me coping skills, and I want to give them the coping skills on how to endure life. So,
All right.
what you got for us?
All
next
right,
song?
y'all folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back to the Bar Talk with Jay.
All right, welcome back. We're Bar Talk with Jeff.
Welcome back. What a show, man.
It's
What
one
a
of those
show.
shows that, you know, things stopped, things got changed, and one of the things I'm going to tell you is it's still going to be here. YouTube will have it, Facebook will get it later. One of the things I can tell you is it can be controversial, and what the masses might do, don't stop me. I pay for a platform for a reason. I don't pay for Facebook, and I can't control what they do. But what I can do is tell you is when you stand for something, it means something, and your work shows in your effort.
Yeah.
I did this for a long time for a reason. The crew that's with me been with me the long time for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate everybody been rolling with me for that reason. Let's continue to do what we do because everybody gonna see what we want. It's not always about money. Young people chase money. I chase a desire within me. It can make money. It's up to you to transform, to make, not to chase. You can't chase what you can't catch, but you can figure out what's in you to make you, and you can make it. It's just that kind of whole formula that most people don't want to really look at because I see him making so much more than me, so you devalue you. You need to take that devalue and add more to you because I promise you, they showing you what you can do, but you ain't seeing it. You are looking at them and not you. We all are vessels to get somewhere. I wouldn't care if you just work for a corporation all your life. You did your best job, you're going to be a happy person and you're going to live a longer life. People die of stress. People die in positions that they wasn't meant for. People will put you in a place that'll kill you. Kill you in stress. High blood pressure because you can't even understand the things that goes on.
Right.
When you do what you love, I don't see too many people dying quickly from what they love.
Yeah, people don't die quickly from what they love because that's the passion that
But you'll
drives
die
life.
from what you hate.
That's a life force driving us, you know.
Mhm.
So, in an effort to close out our show tonight, again, we're talking about parents no longer want babies; they want theybies, and your theyby will decide their gender later on in life. And I think there's been a conclusion to to hear on the stand that is horrific. That's the wrong direction to take. If the child is a male, raise them as a male. If the child is a female, raise them as a female, and they will find their way from there.
Exactly.
And at a certain point, any influence is going to leave your control, and they're going to be more influenced by the outside world than the inside world. So hopefully you will put some good seeds in those children. You have given them a good example of what a man looks like and what a woman looks like.
Yes, sir.
And you have given them the opportunity to stand in the gap that nature has created for them, or decide that they want to go against the grain. And I don't mean go against the grain in a negative way. I just mean they may decide they want to live the alternative life. And even if they make that decision, we still have to love and care for them. We still have to be a part of their life. We still have to nurture them. They still can support us. We still can support them. It is not the end of the world. And it's nowhere near the end of the world because they decide to go a different route. It may very well conflict with some of your deepest core values. It may very well turn your family upside down and have grandma turning over in their grave. But it is not for us to judge in the end. It is for a higher authority to judge. I call it God, to judge in the end. And I don't believe, I was just thinking about this recently. I don't believe that if we are born into sin, we are born with these spirits in our bloodlines. We are born with these anomalies that happen and that help people make these kinds of choices for their lives. How we can be destroyed because we lived out what we was born with. I just believe that God will make a way for all folk, regardless of what they might choose. I do believe there are people on death row who committed murder who will somehow make their way into heaven. And there is an opportunity to not just repent and change, but sometimes there's an opportunity to stand in your own gap, to stand for your own truth and still be accepted not only by humanity, but also by God. And so we are not here to judge anyone for their preferences in life. We're not here to judge anyone for their stances in life, but we are here to say that we need to let status quo be status quo. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. The lifestyle they live will never change that. They are born into a gender, and their gender must be what they are taught, because that's what nature intended it and God intended it to be. And so we've had a lot of dialogue about how nonsensical it is, but in the end, at some point, there needs to be a loving empathy, even for people who have false ideas, even for people who believe in war. You can't just go destroy them because they believe in war. You have to find a way to open a door so that you can communicate and you can live together without the war, right? And so, that's the face of the earth. There are many different belief systems about religion, sexuality, and marriage, and, human rights, and et cetera, et cetera. But we don't come destroy one another just because we have a different set of beliefs and because we don't follow normal protocol. We have to learn to still, some part of us have to accept the human of the human. And I don't believe it can be said any more simpler than that. But do not destroy lives by trying to teach them some abstract idea that has never been proven. Give them a complex about themselves and really destroy much of their youthfulness because they're dealing with such societal and worldly pressures. Teach them what you know to teach them.
And that's why, again, to simplify it to me, is no matter what you call yourself wanting, he has that thing that he gives everybody. It's called a choice. And a lot of times, you're taking choice away because that's what you want. That's your plan. His plan is never going to be your plan. He has something bigger than what we ever know. So as we live our lives, just understand that you have to be in line with what he has for what you're going to have. You have no idea of what he has because you don't know his plan. You just keep your plan, and that's what you go by, and that's natural. I'm telling you, I went through something that was irrational because my mom's, you take him with you, so my sister gonna do some different things. It could have went a lot of different ways. But I chose a way of, it imposed on me a way that I can speak on, and I didn't think it would speak on me now. It gave me power now than then. I didn't have no power then. I was a young man.
Right.
And as I went through it, I endured it. To now, I can speak on and tell you. It does not have to influence you in whatever way people tell you. It's up to you. I can only say it made me stronger. And that's what he put you through. He put you through your hells for you, not necessarily for somebody else. What I endured is not for somebody else to talk about. It's for me to do. So I'm telling you about it today, for I can speak from my endurance of my own hells.
All right.
Not to tell you what to do.
There you go. Any parting words for us, brother?
Sure. You can't change biology. You were born a man for a reason. You were born a woman for a reason. It's very simple. You're born a man, you're here to lead and protect. If you're born a woman, you're here to nurture and reproduce. At the end of the day, it's still your choice. But that's your purpose.
Can't say it any deeper than that. We're going to close out the show with that. Quite liberating, my friend. This has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. We got Buddha in the house with us. And we hope you have enjoyed our program for tonight. You can catch us again all over the internet. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify. And of course, bartalkwithjay.com. We're here every Thursday from 7 to 9, Facebook Live. Please like us, share us, subscribe. Like us, share us, subscribe. Tell your friends and family about the good news of Bar Talk with Jay. And continue to watch and support us. We love you folks. We appreciate you. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.